What's the difference between Kai Cenat's reaction?
Die, bitch, die! 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 Fucking you talking about, bitch ass nigga? That's what I fucking do. Fuck is you talking about? I'm him, bitch. Oh man. What?
And mine. That would be so cool if I didn't literally already know what was gonna happen. Alright, second phase, here we go. Well, I was spoiled. Years before I played the game. And not just on Guardian Ape, but Ishin the Sword Saint, Ishi Nashina, and the whole Shura ending, including killing Emma. The Genichiro fights, all the Owl fights, and in short, the whole game was spoiled for me. And as of today, I beat the game for the first time. FromSoft's Souls games are primarily recognized for difficulty, but secondarily, the remarkable experience that these games offer. Sekiro being no different. You see, I have a brother who played Sekiro as his first Souls game, and holy shit, he loved it. Before this point, he had never played anything like it. A game so difficult, yet fair. A game so challenging and frustrating at the same time, but so euphoric once you've won. The heart-racing stealth sections that felt so real, so deadly, yet meticulous when it came to its level design. The exotic locations that would suck you into the world of Ashina. And the yeah, and I felt none of that. Like, I would love this if I didn't, if I wasn't spoiled on everything in this game. But why? Because I was spoiled. The spoil of the moment took nearly all of the value out of it. While spoil doesn't necessarily equate to meaningless, it will more often than not take away the point from the moment. You see, the point of most video games, or art in general, is value, in my opinion. Value in art to me is some form of positive emotion, experience, insight, or memory. Emotion is the most human thing we can feel. It's why art resonates so much with us, because emotion is the most significant part of being human. Art is often specifically curated to make the viewer get some form of value or emotion out of it. Want to make our listeners feel energized? Put a beat drop and spit a hot 16. Want to make our viewers feel despair? Show them something dreadful without saying anything. Want to make our players shit their pants? Make the boss come back to life on the toughest enemy thus far. Want to make my videos higher quality? Well, then you should like and subscribe and comment and hit that notification bell to make sure you don't miss out on new uploads every. Art is often curated for special moments like this to make the viewer feel or experience something, but once you know what's coming, the punch loses its force. You see, when you start something new, there's likely a blank state on your mind. Something you've never heard of or don't have much exposure with leads your opinion of the piece of art to be very easily influenced due to not having any form of reference or guidance with it. It's why we're so swayed by our friends when they tell us to hop on that new game we've never heard about. They're our friends, so they already have some leverage over most other people's opinion, and if they like it, well, you two have got similar tastes, so it must be good as well, right? When most of us are in foreign territory, we don't know what to do but to stick with what we know. And what you know early in Sekiro is playing as a shinobi in Sengoku era Japan, not the big ass snake.
Oh no.
I think the giant snake in Sekiro personifies what a positively memorable experience can be in a video game. In other words, value in art. The impact of witnessing such a jaw-dropping moment, completely blind, takes your blank state, white canvas, easily pliable mind toward the piece of art, and influences it with something so wild, leaving a core memory for you, giving you an unforgettable experience at worst and magical moment at best. Now, let's imagine you already knew the snake was coming.
Oh shit, dude.
Ooh! We good? Doesn't seem like a blind reaction, does it? Surprise is dependent on the unknown happening in the known or the known occurring in the unknown. But you were spoiled. There's no surprise. It doesn't matter when you see it. Just another predictable obstacle. The birthday present means a lot less once you know what you're getting. Waking up to Christmas morning is only so exciting because you don't know what presents you're gonna get. It's nebulous. It's mysterious. It's unclear. Excitement can often come from the complete certainty or complete uncertainty of an event. It's part of the innate human experience to have curiosity and wonder. And once you take away the ability to wonder, to imagine, once you take away imagination from a work of art, it's perceived less as a distinct experience that you follow through and more like a predictable process. Art is characterized by the human imagination, both in conception and interaction. Without it, it's boiled down to its execution. Some pieces of art are impacted less due to their spoilers, due to the context and impact of the moment being so incredible that the spoiler barely matters. I'll give you an example. A prime example of this being the anime Death Note. Many of the major events in the story were spoiled for me, such as L's death, Light's death, many of Kira's plans, and many vital parts of the story were spoiled for me, but the execution of the show was brilliant, so thrilling, every scene made to put you on the edge of your seat. It didn't matter that I knew what was going to happen, because every second of the show on what was going on was so engaging, refined, amazing that it didn't matter. For the people that weren't spoiled, they must have had a truly special time with this show, because I was spoiled and still had a magical experience. It's one personal example to me on why spoilers don't necessarily mean the piece of art is meaningless. The one thing I did get out of Sekiro, however, was the execution of combat. Since its levels and story were a predictable experience through spoilers, the most engaging and random parts of it would obviously stand out. And the execution of combat in Sekiro is fucking awesome. However, spoilers don't go as far as just story and level design, but also boss mechanics. Part of the boss experience is their moveset and finding out how to deal with it. But having seen so many videos on gameplay of the game, the gradual learning experience was also taken away from me. After seeing so many YouTube videos on people fighting the bosses, the patterns are just simply too recognizable for me to find them challenging. Even with Sekiro's difficult combat, I knew exactly when to hit every single input at the right time, leading to my experience feeling cheap. I know so because Ishin the Sword Saint, what many people consider to be the hardest video game boss ever designed, only took me 15 minutes on a first playthrough. What you see currently is footage of my first playthrough I streamed. This was my first attempt. Okay, that's something. Ding. Boom, boom, boom. Ding, 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 ding. Come on. Oh, what the? Do you honestly think that this gameplay looks like someone who is completely blind to the boss? Okay, how about my second attempt? Boom, boom, boom. Ding, ding, ding. Ding, ding, ding. Oh, shit. Ding, 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 ding. Oh shit. And 10 minutes later, the Sword Saint was finished. See ya! Get him out of here! When I first did this, it did feel good, but it felt like I had a shortcut to beating the boss. I didn't feel the struggle, the pain, the gradual learning experience during the boss fight. During the boss fight, all you want to do is just beat them without the pain, but ironically, now that the boss was... it sounds insulting, but frankly easy, I didn't get much value out of him. I didn't see why everybody loves Ishin the Sword Saint. He was such a cool test of memory from the YouTube videos I had watched, but to be honest, I barely learned his moveset at all. Just memorized the points on when to hit parry and intuited a couple of things that the game had taught me, and soon enough, he was done. And it didn't stop here. Afterward, I did the Shura ending, in which I beat Ishin Ashina in 20 minutes. In Genichiro, I did in a couple of attempts, and on my winning attempt, I did him hitless. In Ishin, 26 minutes. Oh, and Inner Father first try. I legitimately had to refight Inner Father for the next hour to understand his moveset and why he worked the way he did, because I was on autopilot for the majority of his attacks. I just recognized and hit parry. I barely knew his boss patterns. Yes, for a lot of these fights, the combat was intense. It was fun for sure, don't get me wrong, but knowing how to counter and parry nearly every single attack off intuition or memory due to already seeing the moves just made it feel like I sapped a lot of the emotion out of it. What brings value for me in a game is a positive emotion, experience, insight, or memory. In Souls games, this value is derived from the emotions that come from the gradual learning experience and gradually learning how to improve and eventually beating the boss or level. The experience of failing so many times and getting back up to persist against impossible odds and making it out stronger. This memory of persistence and willpower is what makes these games so addicting. When playing Sekiro, how did you feel on New Game Plus, or your first replay of the game? Run-of-the-mill? Frivolous? Forgettable excluding boss encounters? Maybe somewhat insignificant? Yeah, that's exactly how I felt. A run-of-the-mill experience. That's also how I felt fighting Inner Genichiro, Inner Father, and nearly every boss in the game, and level 2. Because I already knew what to do. Areas like Gunfort, the ascent of Ashina Castle the first time, Hirata Estate, etc. I had already seen it all. I was impressed with none of it. While this didn't destroy my experience with Sekiro, it did definitely wear down a lot of its best moments heavily. It transformed the game from the magical experience that my brother and so many others had talked about into one that was extremely predictable. It was to a point where my expected opinions on bosses and levels were the exact same before and after I'd played through the game multiple times. If that isn't a red flag, I don't know what is. The snake being my first example of this, and the Guardian Ape's second phase being the best example of this. Just another predictable obstacle. This doesn't just happen with Sekiro, but can be applied to so many other forms of art as well. Just that Sekiro was the game that was among the most spoiled for me. Every jaw-dropping moment did nothing as my preconceived notions about the game, rigid mindset, my filled canvas had too much exposure, becoming hard to influence. I was in familiar territory, despite starting a new game and stuck only with what I knew. Nearly all the game's power punches lost their force once I knew when they were coming and how they were coming before the fight even started. The remarkable experience this game offered was absolutely destroyed due to the effect that spoilers has on a piece of art. Spoilers took away the feelings of excitement, struggle, euphoria, rage, learning, surprise, wonder, and everything else in between. It removed emotion, the most significant trait of being human. And that's the difference between Kai Cenat's reaction and mine. Emotion. Hello viewer, I appreciate you making it to the end of the video. This is my first foray? Is that the right word? I don't fucking know. This is my first foray into video essays, so I hope I did a decent job when it comes to immersion in writing. Please like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the video. I'll continue to do my best to drop better content in the future. Oh, and please join my Discord server as long as you're going to be a civil dude. I don't want any dickheads in there. As long as you're a respectful and chill guy. Shh, I want you in here. Now. Come on, we need more members.